So rehabilitation, what are we talking about? It's really not a word that I've ever liked. It doesn't seem to describe what we do. So do we know what we're talking about? Are we going to be any wiser in 90 minutes' time? This came about because we had a steering group discussion where we started talking about rehabilitation. People saying, well, this is interesting. That's not how I think about it. Oh, we need to have a discussion about this. There are medical definitions of rehabilitation, of course, and Helen's going to mention that. But in the next 90 minutes, please think about what rehabilitation means in its broadest sense. And maybe we can keep this discussion going in a CIICA conversation. Next, please. So who are we talking about by adults? We're including those implanted as adults. We're including those implanted as children and who are now adults, because we do need to remember that about 20% of those who are implanted as children are over 20 now and are adults. What about them? So cochlear implants for life, but it's set in a specialized medical center involving surgery and clinical activity. But that isn't where cochlear implants are used, in a clinic. So what's the goal of a cochlear implant? Is it improving hearing, or is it something more? Well, how we think about rehabilitation is really important. And making the cochlear implant work in the community for life starts with in the clinic at the left-hand side with access, fitting the technologies, learning to use the implant, and then for life, how we're using an implant at home and school and work. And we're not always so good at doing that bit. Now, the World Report on Hearing said that cochlear implants is one of the most successful of all neural prostheses developed, and that cochlear implants must only take place where the supportive infrastructure for rehabilitation therapy exists. So WHO's report stresses the value of rehab. Rehabilitation therapy is essential. And many of you have downloaded our summaries on the CIICA net website when we've done summaries of the World Report. Thank you. Now, the consensus statements on adult cochlear implantation, they were published last year, and CIICA, the Consumer and Professional Advocacy Committee, were asked to comment on the consensus statements. They stressed the need for the involvement of user and family groups. They stressed the need for adult hearing screening and for rehabilitation and for lifelong care. Now, the remarks and the suggestions of CIICA were integrated in the report, but they weren't in the publication. They were not included in the publication. So that means that it's even more important for us to talk about rehabilitation and to listen to adults about rehabilitation, about what they want and what they need. Please note, we have just got a small grant funded by Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council in Canada to have a look and survey adults with cochlear implants across the globe about what they want and what they get. So what do they get after cochlear implantation, and what would they have liked? So that'll be coming out soon, and you'll be asked to share that with your members. But first, let's find out what's happening. And firstly, we're going over to Harold in Germany.